Whew. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Shirt Shack. I'm the Shirt Man, and today I'm gonna make some cool content for you guys, man. If you're looking to get into the custom apparel world, start your own custom apparel business or whatnot, we're gonna go through some of the things that you may need to do to get started. Some of the equipment that you may need, some of the stuff that I started with and what I operate with today. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first and foremost, you got to have a press, right? So this is what I use. It's a Riley Hopkins Jr. This is the first press I actually started out with. I'm still using it today. It's a great press. Does everything I needed to do and then some. So it's been a good press for me. I do have the aluminum pallets with the rubber top on them, which are far better than the wood pallets. So keep that in mind as well. But this particular press is a 6-color 4-station press, and it's been great so far. It's really it's made me a lot of money, and I love it. So let's take a closer look. All right, so the next thing you're going to need, of course, is a flash. You're going to need a good flash dryer. The package that I purchased actually came with a flash dryer as well. I actually replaced that dryer because I almost started a fire with it. Matter of fact, I did start a fire when I first built the shop. I set a pallet on fire with that. I left the shop for a minute to go and do something. I came back and the pallet was on fire. So I actually bought this flash. It's a very inexpensive flash. I think I got it from Amazon, but it's a quartz flash and it has a auto on off feature. I'll show you guys that. It has a sensor, and it comes on, it stays on for however long. I think I've got it set for 13 seconds at the moment, but it stays on for whatever time you set it for, and then it goes off. So it is, in my opinion, this is about a $600 flash. It's very inexpensive for what it does. And if you know, it's a cheaper Amazon Chinese flash, but the way I see it, if it goes kaput, I'll just replace it. I'll get another one. So but I've had this thing for a couple of years now, and it's been a very solid press for me. It's done exactly what I needed it to do. So it's been good to me, so check them out. So the next thing that you will need is, of course, a conveyor dryer. Now, when I first started out, I started out with a very small Vastex D100 tabletop conveyor dryer, and it did a great job for me. I loved it. But when I expanded and I moved out here to the shop, I needed something a little faster. So I found this. I actually bought this thing used. I didn't buy it brand new from Rynet, but I found it used on I think his marketplace. So but I mean, even though it's used, it's got a lot of life left in it, and it has done a great job for me. So I would totally suggest you guys investing in something like this. It's a great dryer, and it also makes a good table for all my junk. If you see my junk up top there. So yeah, good conveyor dryer. Gotta have one. Okay, and what custom apparel business can operate without a good heat press? Now, again, this is a pretty inexpensive heat press, but I bought it because it is really nice. It gets the job done, and it swings away for easy t-shirt removal. Funny story, I actually started this entire business with nothing but a heat press. True story. I decided I wanted to start a custom apparel business, and I went and found a heat press on Craigslist, a used heat press. I bought it, and I started cranking out shirts. So I went from heat press to all this. So it's possible, and it's been a great ride so far. All right, so over here I've got the Melco EMT16X commercial embroidery machine. This, if you're looking to get into embroidery, these machines do get rather expensive. I actually bought this machine used. Again, Facebook Marketplace, best friend, my best friend anyway. This machine actually was an EMT16, not a 16X. But for an additional fee, I called up Melco. They came out, they sent a tech out, and they put the upgraded X arm attachment on the machine to convert it to an X, which in my opinion cost about $2,500 to do that, but in my opinion it was well worth every penny, because this machine would have so many slingshots and thread brakes and bobbin brakes and things like that. But when you put the upgraded X arm in it, it comes with an upgraded trim system and things like that, and it just makes this machine so much better. So if you're looking for an embroidery machine and you're looking at Melco's, I would strongly suggest you go for the EMT16X model before you look at the other models. Again, a little bit more expensive, but the X model is worth every penny in my book. Alright guys, so let's take a look around the darkroom here. What's the number one thing you gotta have when it comes to your darkroom? You gotta have a good exposure unit. I actually started my business when I first got into the actual screen printing. When I moved away from the heat transfer stuff, I actually started with a really small exposure unit, and once I moved up to the LED vacuum unit, it has been just a world of difference, man. A whole lot less, whole lot shorter exposure time and things like that. It's a very It saves you a lot of time once you switch over to LEDs. I don't even think they make the old tube types anymore. I think they're all LEDs now. But the vacuum blanket on this thing is so much better as well. You don't have to worry about putting a piece of foam or whatever inside your exposure unit and clamping that lid on real tight. The vacuum blanket is definitely the way to go. So once again, I mean, you can find these things on Facebook Marketplace. You can find these things on Craigslist. You can find them everywhere. So if you're looking to get into, or if you're already into screen printing and you're looking to upgrade, or you don't have a vacuum unit or an LED unit, check out your local marketplace or something like that. You don't have to go and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on these things. You can find them. You can find them. They're out there. You can find them. All right. So screen racks, build them yourself. Don't go out here and spend hundreds of dollars on screen racks, man. Go to your local Lowe's, Home Depot, hardware store, whatever. Get you some wood. I'm not a carpenter by any means. I'm not a builder. But I was able to build these screen racks relatively easy. They work great. I got a tarp here. You can, if you need to cover them up, you can pull the tarp down, cover them up. Keeps the dust from getting in there. Keeps the light from seeping in there, which I've got the yellow bulb in here in my dark room anyway. But I built me a couple of screen racks here. This one doesn't have any screens in it, but screen racks are, they're relatively easy to build. You don't really have to spend an arm and a leg on these things, man. So go out there and get them built. Build it yourself. All right, guys. So in closing, just a little history about my business that I started. I actually started this business about 10 years ago. I think in January it'll be 10 years ago that I started my business. And I started my business with nothing but a heat press, like I said before. I found a heat press on Craigslist, and I went and bought that heat press, and I started cranking out t-shirts with that heat press. I actually went a little later and bought a vinyl plotter cutter and started doing vinyl stuff. I got up with a couple of different screen print companies, and they started making transfers for me, and I would take the transfers that they were making for me and press them onto the shirts, and that's how I started my my t-shirt business. I quickly learned a couple of years later that I was spending way too much money on transfers for something that I could take that money that I was spending on transfers and invest it into equipment and do it myself. That is how I got involved in the actual direct screen printing process. Especially nowadays, people start these businesses and they realize it's a lot of hard work. They realize it's not going to make them $1 million right away, and they move on to other things. So, I mean, you can find this stuff on Marketplace, you can find this stuff on Craigslist, you can find this stuff just about anywhere on the internet, man. Decent quality stuff you can find on the internet. You can go out, you can buy this stuff, and you can start your own business with it. My advice would be not to go cheap on certain things. Like, don't go to Amazon and buy one of the blue Chinese screen print presses. Don't do that. Don't. Get a good quality press. Get something that's going to last you at least a few years. Get something. get something with at least, that you can do at least 4 or 5 colors. When I bought my press, I went ahead and sprung for the 6-color 4-station press. That way I was able to do most multicolored jobs. Very rarely do you get anything that's, a customer wants over 6 colors. But you would be surprised at how many orders you will get for people wanting 5, 6 colors. So I would tell you to go ahead and if you're going to get a press, get a 6-color press. Get at least a 4-station press. Get a good quality screen printing press. Get a good quality conveyor dryer if you can afford it. The Vastex D100 that I had served me well for a couple of years until I moved out of the house, and because I started this whole business in a spare bedroom in my house. So the D100 served me very, very well in a spare bedroom, but as I started getting larger orders and things like that, it was slowing me up a little bit. So when I moved out of the house, I jumped out there. I found this conveyor dryer that I have here now. I found it on Marketplace. I got a pretty good deal on it, and so I went and bought that. And it has done a very good job for me. It's sped up my production a lot. So I would tell you guys to go ahead and find, get something that'll serve you well for at least a couple of years, until maybe you want to upgrade more. Maybe you want to upgrade to an 8-color press. Maybe you want to upgrade to an 8-station press. Maybe you want to upgrade to an auto. But get something for a small business. Get something that's going to last you for at least a couple of years. In conclusion, I appreciate you guys watching. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, please. Hit the notification bell. That'll let you know when I come out with new content. Until next time, guys, thanks again, and good luck in your screen printing and custom apparel endeavors. See ya.